तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद 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 तेरी याद
Yo, what is up? It's the Hesi Podcast, and we doing the damn thing for another week. We back from Turkey Day. You already know what it is around here. And it's me, your host, Sterls, and I got my dog here with me, as always, Sports Plug Russ. And we up in this thing for another week, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling like a villain. I hope everybody had a good holiday, but it's time to get into it.
Oh, dude, it's been a few weeks of sports that we didn't really cover last week because, you know, it's the festivities, it's the holiday season. You got turkeys to make, families to hug, right? And it was just a busy week. So now we're back, and we got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight right here on the Hesi Podcast. You make sure you find us right here on YouTube, and you can do us a favor, you know. Give us some comments. This is a new show, but what me and Russ do is not new. We talk shit. We talk sports. But follow, subscribe. We're gonna be doing this thing every damn week. So tonight we're gonna be talking about Mark Cuban, Josh Giddey. We're gonna talk about the NBA in-season tournament. The college football rankings, we're going to talk about that. My boys, Michigan, they got the dub against Ohio State in the game.
The big dub in the big game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we'll finish the show out with some NFL talk, and then we'll get on up out of here. But it's hey man, it's Tuesday, and Russ, I think it's time. The cool thing about this is we're both Mavs fans, and
yes,
we got a historic franchise here, and not only is the team good this year, which is nice, right? A big difference from last year, but now Mark Cuban allegedly is selling the team or selling a fair stake in the club right now. And the question is, why is he doing that? You know, so before we dive into all that, what are your thoughts on it?
You know what? I'm honestly, after I looked up about what was going on, and he might be he's forecasting something else going on, and is trying to make sure he doesn't lose money from that. But he still is able to keep his basically his owner title, and he's able to still control the Mavs. So all he did was make sure that the Mavs can't cost him any money, from what I'm seeing. So I'm not really tripping on it. I think he gave the woman that bought it, or he sold it to, both bought it and sold it to. She's like the the most richest woman in the world. So, I mean, as long as, you know what I'm saying, we ain't got to worry about who's making decisions, and Mark's still making decisions at the top for the foreseeable future, until obviously he feels like he doesn't want to, because that may be also what he's doing. But I don't think he wants to step away from the Mavs, like with Luka being a top 5 player. With Kyrie still playing basketball at a top 10 player level, and the team having a viable chance to make some noise, being there that they are number 3 in the Western Conference right now. Still got to work on the defense, but I just think it's a money move. I think we'll figure out more about it in the next months to come, when we figure out that, oh shit, Mark Cuban's smarter with money than everybody else. Something that we already knew. So plus he's leaving Shark Tank too, and then there was something else, but. Yeah, it just leans towards he's doing something so that certain entities can't cost him any money, and he doesn't have to worry about losing any finances while still keeping the power that he has, which is pretty fucking intelligent. But it's Mark Cuban, so what else would you say?
Right. I mean, Mark Cuban is one of the smartest sports businessmen out there. And in the early 2000s, he bought the team for $285 million. Now it's valued over $5 billion now. That's crazy, right? This is a 65. Yeah. 65 years old is what Mark Cuban is, billionaire. The dude is just wealthy. So anytime you see a move like this, you know his passion is basketball. His passion is these Mavericks. I mean, he was a critical part of getting this team on the top of the NBA world. Just 10 seasons ago, it feels like, or probably longer than that. It's probably like 12 seasons ago. But yeah. So
around 20. But yeah, it's been a minute.
Since they won the championship is what I'm referring to.
Oh, I thought you meant like since Mark turned us around. But yeah.
About
10. So 2011. About
yeah,
13.
we getting old, dog. We getting old, man.
It was still glorious.
Yeah,
we need another one.
We do need another one, man. It's one of those things. As we're talking about the Mavs, Achilles' heel is still the defense. They don't defend. They don't, protect the rim. I feel like we had a few, retaining Dwight Powell. I mean, he's just worthless.
After I think that Powell is worthless, but I do like Sherlock Holmes. I like the addition of him.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he gets down. Lively is a really good player. After Wemby, might be the best rookie pickup out of actually after Wemby, he might be the best rookie pickup. He does a lot. Doesn't get the NBA respect yet, so he does get some foul calls. But in the Mavericks case, even though they don't play the best defense, they have two of the top 5 most unstoppable players in the league. Maybe top. I'll give you 10. But you're going to be hard pressed to find 2 guys on a team that are as lethal as Luka and Kyrie are. Just as far as habits, it's not forced.
Sure,
it's not. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, it's like, we need you to do this. No, like they wake up. Luka wakes up ready to control the pace of the game and drop 40. Kyrie wakes up ready to boogie and dance and drop 40. So it's like if these 2 guys are in their element, the offense is pretty good. Grant Williams needs you to get back to the way you were the first 5 games of the season. First 5 to 6, 7
perimeter
games
shooting was amazing.
Like, yeah, he needs to get back to shooting more consistently. But it's an 82-game season. We can ride the roller coaster, but I like what I'm seeing. I do hope that they can somehow finagle, the defensive center by any means if necessary. You know what I'm saying? I think Flight Jones needs to get the ball more PT. And I think Tim Hardaway needs to stop shooting the fucking ball so much. Tim Hardaway Jr.
He'll never stop shooting the ball.
But then he needs to go. Like, I don't want to be negative, and I wanted to stay positive for as long as possible, but I think I couldn't hold my breath. And that motherfucker shoots way too much. I mean, have confidence. We get it. You have confidence. We understand now. You're confident, and you let that motherfucker go. But Tim Hardaway Jr., as a Mavs fan for life, MFL, we want you to stop.
Man, Tim Hardaway, he was like this in Michigan. I mean, the dude, he just felt the need to just pull up all the time. Now, in college, I mean, he was a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he played, those Michigan teams were really good. But in the pros, if he's hitting, great, feed him the ball. But, you just don't see a lot of nuance with his game offensively, right? Like, I think he's poor at the mid range. He can still shoot the tray, but like you want to see him develop into a more well-rounded shooter. Be able to get at all 3 levels, and he's just not able to do that consistently.
Yeah, now he's your classic streak shooter, which is very dangerous. It's just a very dangerous thing to have. But yeah, he just stopped shooting the fucking ball. But as a whole, I'm happy as a Mavs fan. I'm happy to see the Kyrie Luka thing working out, just like some guy on the internet said it would. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of people said it wouldn't. But then again, people just like to hate Kyrie because he texts stuff that people didn't like. Unlike another guy we're going to talk about who actually did some things. But yeah, no, I'm cool with it. I think Jason Kidd is right. I think people need to talk more about how good they're playing because it was very loud about how bad they're playing. But I think that throughout the season and as it goes on, via trade or via just chemistry and vibes getting right, this team is gonna get the defensive side of the ball down. And they do make stops. If you're watching the games, people out there, when you watch the Mavericks play, yes, the defense leaves something to be desired, but they do make stops when they need to. And they have 2 guys that in 5 possessions, they're going to get you 3 times. If not all 5. They're going to get you. So I see what they're doing, and I'm rocking with it until the boat sinks.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where you appreciate the two players, Luka and Kyrie. And if you don't play defense, I get it. But if you're going to play that way, that style of basketball, there has to be a third scorer that's probably around the 17 to 22 point score to kind of make your level of margin for error a little bigger. And they have to develop a third scorer that's going to be. So maybe that comes at the trade deadline. Who knows? But as of right now, I don't think the way their style of play with those two is sustainable for a championship because you're not going to beat Denver like that, right?
No.
So the roster's better.
No, you're right. You're basically playing like the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you got, what I'm saying? But there is a third avenue that you can take, but your way is the smart. Like if there's two roads to take, your way is the road of sunshine, smooth paved roads. Just go get you another score. Then there's this other way that I think the Mavs are going, and the Suns have kind of gone this way. It's a dark alley filled with motherfuckers with knives ready to stab you, and we want you to play the perfect game, bench guys. So that means one guy doesn't have to score 20, but can like three of you guys give us 5 to 7? And
that's where Tim Hardaway comes in. You want him to be one of those guys, right?
Yes.
Lively, if he can step up and just be a defensive force. We don't need him to score. We just need him to protect the rim, right?
He does that.
He does that. He's a rookie and he's developing.
He's a rookie.
And so
that's really what I like. Watching the game against Houston the other night. I was joking with one of my homies, and I was like, yeah, Lively gets fouls. Lively doesn't have that league respect yet. Like he doesn't get those calls where like the league is like, all right, we got you. You know what I'm saying? We know that you're a good defender. And like guys like Rudy Gobert get that. Guys like Draymond Green, when they're not choking motherfuckers out, get that. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's just growth, but that's why the season is 82 games.
We'll see.
I'll ask you, from what you've seen so far, how far do you think this team can get right now?
I think they could make the Western Conference Finals.
That's where I am.
I think if they stay with this level of consistency, they can, and Lively gets better, right, throughout the season. Tyson Chandler sinks his teeth in him some more and kind of gets him on that level. That's the plan. They can make it to the Western Conference Finals, but they won't win it. They would need out of this world performances from Luka and Kyrie, right? Because it's
right
like
now,
in the beginning of the season, everybody's healthy, your legs are fresh, but they're gonna need somebody in the middle of the seasons where I want to see like, okay, January, February, March. If they can be consistent there, they got a really good shot, right? But I don't want to see them flame out in the playoffs because those two players kind of carried you all that way. You know what I'm saying? So they need another scorer that's consistent. So, Josh Green, Tim Hardaway, we'll see what those guys can do.
Grant.
I don't even count on Grant like that.
I you know what? To me, it's like I don't get mad at Grant because Grant gives us just a teeny little bit of what we were missing when we lost Dorian Finney-Smith. And that's just like sometimes what Dillon Brooks has brought to the Rockets. And if you haven't seen the Rockets people out there,
can't even
the Rockets played really, really good basketball. And it is partly because Dillon Brooks brings a mindset to that team that's like, we're not going to back down. We're going to ball. And so I like what Grant Williams brings with that. But, man, you get wide open jumpers, so I need you to get back to 50% on those, where it's make one, miss one, that type of deal. I mean, you can even drop down to 45. You know what I'm saying? But we need teams to be very regretful when you have the ball and you're in that little 3-point angle shot, or you know what I'm saying, get to the corner. You hit the corner one too. But I'm fucking with what the Mavs doing.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of. Man, I can't even fix my mouth to say this. Josh Giddey. I was about to say, speaking of effing, is it too soon? Listen, man.
He did it.
Listen,
Did it?
Listen, first of all, on a Josh Giddey note, you played 2K, the new 2K? Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure you have. And Josh Giddey, there's always a part with Josh Giddey in it. Like this nigga be out there on the block, like just chilling out in the and nigga be picking up chicks out there, bro. He picking up little
Picking up,
girls. He picking them
picking up
up.
schoolgirls,
He picking up
picking up
schoolgirls.
schoolgirls, and
And the crazy, go ahead.
and I was gonna say the thing about it is like, as I look back, I'm like, we all knew one. Like Josh Giddey, I know what you are. Like, and all the other fellas out here, like, you know, you're 21, scalper. Yeah, we know you, you dirty motherfucker. We know exactly who you are. And we like the fact that he's done already got to the parents. The parents of
He
the
broke him off.
victim
He
has,
had to pay.
yeah,
He paid him.
yeah, no, they're not cooperating with authorities, so he gonna get away with it, whatever he did. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's
Man,
just,
but
I
but the
mean,
question is, how can you be so stupid? Like you're Josh Giddey. You are, a young NBA point guard who's an ascending talent on a team that's getting more notoriety with Chet Holmgren and the guys that they already have that are just amazing, right? We need to talk about Shea, Lou Dort,
hey,
right?
hey, Shy
Poku.
Glizzy Alexander.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what I just don't understand why you would subject yourself in that manner when you can go virtually. You can have any chick you
It's
want
poor.
that's
It's
of
poor.
age.
I'm sorry. I'm over here smiling, and the people are like, "This nigga right here gives no fucks." I don't, but it's just like you know why. You know what he wanted. Like it's horrible, but you
You
know what he
couldn't get
wanted.
it from somewhere else.
He didn't want it from someone else. He knew exactly the store he was shopping, and he wanted to
Well,
shop there.
you know
And
what?
he wanted to shop at that store, and that's horrible. But like that's why when you look at it, he already paid him off. He's the way he's like acting about it is basically like, man, like what I do. And there's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of dudes out there like that go
Yeah,
fishing
no,
in
I
kiddie
mean it is
pools,
what it is. You
and
get it how you live.
not like the kiddie pool. Pause that, but
Sure.
like they shop in the mid range
Yeah.
section,
He
and
he
like
going to he hangs out at Epstein Island now.
yeah, like he does like, but now what I have a problem with, and I know that you probably like was like I knew I was gonna say something is why are you playing while they're trying to figure it out. I like whatever. I know you're probably gonna get off, but like if this was Kyrie with the tweets, I mean whatever the Instagram, whatever it was, like he had an issue. Like Udoka got suspended. Like everybody, like you got a problem, you get suspended. But this guy got a problem. You don't get suspended. Certain people on certain networks that love to talk about black dudes when they do wrong,
Sure.
it don't
That's
like to
fair.
talk. Didn't want to say. Had to be forced to talk about it. Looking like Griselda and that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jesus, girl, got to get it together. That picture was terrible. But no, like yeah, like it's horrible that it had to get to that. That's what I'm looking at because honestly, like I'm gonna be real. Like it's horrible.
It is.
And you motherfuckers are sickos. But like it's to the point in my brain to where it's like, all right, now punish him because y'all know that there's 21-year-old guys that's trying to scope out the 17-year-olds or that just don't give a fuck if they run into a 17-year-old because they're just like, oh, one more year. Yeah. Like
Can I let me give you a different perspective. Him sitting out admits guilt. So no one knows, right, that can actually prove that he's had a promiscuous relationship with her. What we've seen is just online photos and videos, but we don't know, right? We just don't know. Now, he's allowed to date whoever he wants. Hold on, let me finish. If the parents say, "Hey, you're 21, you and my daughter, we give you permission to date her." Now, I'm not saying that it gives him a right to, smash.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is we gotta wait. We gotta wait till all the evidence comes out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wait till all the evidence
I think
comes
that's
out.
what it was. I mean,
but yeah, I mean, when you look at it, the nigga's guilty. Like he did
it's
it.
what
Like
it was. Like Sterling, come on, that's what it was, bro.
in the
Like
club,
we
she
know for a
drinking.
fact, bro. We know
He
for
did
a
it. He
fact
did
that
it.
people
But
were
what I'm saying is,
but
if you're
think of,
him,
I'm gonna say
You're
it.
gonna handle it that way.
But yeah, of course you have to. But another thing is, like, we live in the age of Kells, bro. Like, people were literally giving their daughters to R. Kelly for money. So, like, yes, I fully 100% believe that he picked up this chick, and he probably made, whether he found out late, whether he found out early, and he still was like, man, I still want it. Like, which is crazy to me when you're in the NBA.
You
Period.
sound
It's
like a
crazy.
horny ass
Period.
nigga when you say it like that, man.
It's
He
crazy.
want it.
That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. He was a horny ass nigga. That's what he was doing. Josh Giddey, that's what he was doing. Horrible as it may be. And he saw it. He wanted it. He got a lot of money. He went to the parents, probably said, hey man, look.
Yeah. All
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like, I just feel like, I know nothing's been found out, but like, we told players they can't play for less. To Josh Giddey, man, just get that shit out. Just get that shit.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with Josh Giddey. Again, like you mentioned, the parents aren't pressing any charges. They're not cooperating with authorities. So, it's their daughter. They as parents, they can do whatever they want at this point. I mean, within reason, right? Legally.
And I just gotta say
date,
this, because I just gotta say this, bro. Stop shopping in the kids section, bro. Like,
you're Josh Giddey. You don't need to.
It don't matter. I don't care if you the Oscar the Grouch, you live in a fucking trash can. Stop shopping in the kids section. It's not for you. Like, stop it. Stop. Like, get your hand out. Stop doing it. Like,
Josh said,
stop.
I gotta see it through, my boy. He took it to the next level.
Like, it's bro. It's man.
Oh man.
But anyway, before we get, Tiger was on the same shit.
Yep. Hey,
stop shopping in the kids section, bro.
Yeah, let's be done with that. Let Josh do better. And the young girl that was involved, do better. Be 16 or whatever you are, 15, 16.
Yeah,
Stop.
enjoy your childhood.
Stop.
You don't need to be fucking with
the
that
parents
dude,
do something. I mean, so it's unfortunate situation all the way around. So we'll see what happens with it.
Money's a hell of a drug.
In-season tourney. Shall we talk about it? Now there was a lot of people talking about that the in-season tournament before the season. People were like, I don't want to do it. It seems kind of trash, but the NBA they haven't missed.
It's live.
They have not
it's
missed.
Live.
They are doing so much with this league and making it, enticing and fun again. And the NBA in-season tournament has been a smashing hit. Like, it's live, like you said. So let me tell you who's in it right now. Right now, on the Western quarterfinals, you have the Lakers in the number 1 seed. They play the Suns. I think that was yesterday or next Tuesday. I'm not sure. No,
next Tuesday. Yes, next Tuesday.
Yep. And then the Kings and the Pelicans are the 2 and 3 seed. That they tip off on Monday night. And then you have the Bucks and the Knicks, the 1 and 4 seed there, and then you have the Pacers and Celtics. This is going to be, I like this because there's no clear winner here. The Celtics should win the whole thing, but I think the Bucks are going to have something to say about that. And the old ass Lakers, I think the Kings should beat the Lakers, to be honest.
I was just about to say, though, like, Bron old ass is sneaky. Like, Bron would be this bitch like, I'm gonna win something this year. Yeah, like the way that they have crept into this position as the number 1 seed. Like, it's like, to me, Bron is like, they got the first motherfucking in-season tournament. I gotta win that whole, y'all. I need that notch on my belt. Like, for the GOAT. But I think that we're setting up. Man, I think that we're gonna be setting up to see some Zion versus Bron. Because Zion healthy on the Pelicans makes them such a good basketball team. And if you haven't got a chance to watch him, when he's healthy, I am too. But when he's healthy, damn it, it is.
He's fun to watch, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It is, in the way that he helps his team by just being bigger and stronger than everybody else. You don't really got to do too much for him to go off. Like, it just makes everything flow. And so I do think that the old ass Lakers are going to end up playing against the the Pelicans, but I do think the Suns are gonna put up a big fight. Being at one elimination game is what's gonna be most interesting to me.
Right.
Because we've never seen NBA players in a one game knockout situation that wasn't a game 7 where they've already played each other. Like we know that game 1s in the playoffs, you know this as well as I do. That first weekend of the playoffs in the NBA is crazy because them 8 seeds be fighting. You know what I'm saying? Them 8 seeds be fighting, them 7 seeds be fighting, and sometimes they get that first game and then they lose. They go on to lose the next 4, or they go on to lose like
Oh yeah.
next like 3. You know what I'm saying? They go on to, but this is going to be knockout. So a team like the Knicks could fuck around and shock, you know what I'm saying, the Milwaukee Bucks, because what normally would be a regular season game on Tuesday, December 5th, where the Knicks could creep up and snatch the Bucks, is now going to be a knockout stage
Right.
tournament game. So it's all the elements involved. The NBA did such a good job making it that they're regular season games, but they have a tournament implications. That was smart. That was really, really smart, because now we're in a situation where this next upcoming week is going to be pretty dope for us as we watch TNT.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I will be glued to the TV next week on TNT to see these games, and we'll see. The winner gets a bag, right? Like they going
100K.
yeah. So that's cool for the players, man. An incentivized tournament where they're making money. College football playoff is here. It's here, and you know what I love about this is the 4 this week. Okay, after the rivalry week last week. Now we're in the conference championship week, but the college football playoff rankings have come out, and your 4 teams right now are Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, Washington, and Florida State. Now, some will tell you, because Jordan Travis is out, that Florida State does not deserve to be the number 4 team, and I partly disagree with that, because that they're still winning, even though they have a backup quarterback. That doesn't mean we've seen Ohio State with Cardale Jones win a national title. I don't think it's fair to the kids to be like, well, your quarterback's out, so you can't participate. Like, I think that's kind of BS. So they got it right. They put Florida State at number 4. They play Louisville this weekend. In a prove it game. Beat Louisville and you're in. I think Louisville's ranked number 10. I think that's fair. Georgia plays Alabama, right? Alabama is an 8-point underdog against Georgia. I'll be betting Alabama in that game. And it'd be nice to see Georgia lose. Yeah. You want to know why? Because I don't want to play. I don't want to play Georgia. That's why. But Georgia looks beatable this year. They look beatable.
It had to be the Michigan angle.
Oh, no. I had to take that.
I feel you. Michigan might be good enough to beat either team this year, though. This is the most parity we've seen in college. This is the most parity we've seen in college football in the last 15 years. I think that Texas is getting screwed over a little bit. But that's the Big 12's fault.
You got a fever? You sick? Are you
sick?
No.
It's the reason. Okay, so the massive holding of Oklahoma really caused this downfall of Texas, because the Big 12 hated Oklahoma and Texas, but they hated Oklahoma so much that, of course, you had the issues at Oklahoma State where a pass interference on the goal line was blatantly not called. That game was called. There was like a pass that shouldn't have been a reception at Kansas that was called a reception, along with some other plays. But anyways, so they did what they need to do. Oklahoma, who's won 14 Big 12 championships, complete dominance, blah, blah, blah. In all that, you caused Texas to look like a team that doesn't have a strength of schedule that measures up. And people are now wanting to put Alabama over the top of Texas because it looks like Texas is going to onslaught Oklahoma State this Saturday, creating this hoopla that we have now, when it should be the teams you just named, take out Florida State and insert Texas. And that's just me being unbiased. I am, and I don't like to be on the boat. But Sterling, I understand that they're winning, and I understand that they deserve their chance, but your quarterback is not playing Florida State, and I can't have another TCU incident. I
It's a
can,
good point. I mean,
we
is it
we
really
can't
the four best teams, right? Because if it's the four best teams, Florida State's not in there. If it's really about the four best teams.
yes, like it's and it to me it's like I get I am of the school of
Washington's not even in there.
no. I know and peep this. And I think that Washington and Oregon are going to settle that shit, and one of them is going to do it. But I will say from episodes previously, remember when we talked about who was going to win what conference? I'm stuck because I want Washington to win, but I did say that Oregon was going to win the conference championship, so I'm stuck there. But I think they're going to settle themselves out. But I'm a part of the school of yes, if you deserve to go, you meet the criteria, you win it, you go undefeated. This is me speaking from like FSU's standpoint. Do you deserve to go? FSU fans, yes, you do deserve to go. But we can't allow you to go because you don't have your second best player. Like your best player is Jared Verse. And so on the defensive line. And then your quarterback, who's not going to be playing. And if he's not going to be playing, like we know what that's going to do because you're going to have to play Georgia. Like we do not want the blowouts that was like that year that Washington had to play Alabama and John Ross and then went out there and got slaughtered. Like it's like we can't keep doing this. Now, do I want to see a rematch of Ohio State and Michigan? No. Do I want to see SEC teams play 2 times? No. But there is a way that we can devise this to where we say, okay, Alabama and Georgia play. I think Georgia's going to beat the motherfuckers. I don't think there's any math about it. I just think that Georgia going to go out there and beat these niggas. Like, Georgia nice. So, like, Georgia going to go out there and win. So, once Georgia wins, they lock up their spot, right? And so you have Texas goes out there and wins. Texas locks up their spot, right? Or so we think. Michigan done already locked up their spot. Y'all got to beat the Iowa Hawkeyes. If y'all can score more than fucking 10 points,
yeah, it's over.
10 points, you'll beat the Hawkeyes. Like 12, yeah, the Hawkeyes have the worst offense in the past 30 years in college football. I can't fucking believe how they continue to go to Big
It's their
Ten
defense.
games.
It's their defense, man.
It's like you can have a dope defense. Why the fuck can't you get some motherfuckers to score, Iowa? You got to have some money for somebody, a running back, a receiver, a quarterback.
It's rough, but hey,
they got tight ends. They
always got tight ends and a couple good linemen.
I just think what it boils down to that. So therefore you got Florida. I mean, therefore you got Texas, you got Michigan, you got Georgia, and then the last spot people are wanting to go into hoopla. Like, who does the last spot go to? Does it go to the Washington team if it wins? Does it go to the Oregon team if it wins? I think those two teams. Or do you want to stick another SEC team in there? And I'm like, no. I think Washington and Oregon play this shit out. Who wins that game deserves to go.
Sure.
Like I'm a fan of Oregon, not a fan of Bo Nix, but they light that shit on fire. And I've been talking about Troy Franklin. They need to get up in there if they win. If Washington wins, we're talking about Michael Penix being, going on in the pantheon and history and yada 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 of college football being one of the greatest seasons that a college football player could have had. He was at Indiana first. Hoosiers. Wow. This could have been you. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that that we gotta wait for this weekend to play out. I think the football guys are gonna fix it. But if Florida State ends up being undefeated and they don't have the quarterback, I'm sorry, bro. Like no.
Regardless of how we feel, if they beat Louisville, they're in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what they're gonna do.
Do you really think that they're gonna do that?
Louisville should have beat Kentucky, and they didn't do that.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like they had it, bro. They had it. So I don't know. I if you ask me as a betting man, what I'm betting this week, I'm betting that +8 for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting the +23 for Iowa. Iowa +23. Okay. Michigan's not going to beat them by 23 points.
I don't even think Michigan will try to beat them by 23 points. But yeah.
Michigan will try to beat them by 50. But I think it's going to be a little closer than I think it'll be 21 points.
Michigan has this way of going out there like they're going to try to beat you by 50. Then they realize that they can beat you by 20 and get up out of there.
Yeah. We'll see.
Like,
Last time they played Iowa in the Big Ten title game 2 years ago, they smoked them. They smoked them, and our
And
defense was
Harbaugh's
better.
back, correct?
Harbaugh's back, so we'll see.
Ooh.
George,
Actually, you may not want to take that.
you think I should take Michigan with the points?
Yes. Yes,
Man,
most
I
definitely. I did not think about that at first, but if I'm betting, which I am going to, I just didn't know the lines. I just didn't know the line, but I am going to bet. But I most definitely would take Michigan in the points, even though it's a high number. Harbaugh not going to come back and say, let's just win. Harbaugh is going to come back and say, let's prove to the committee why we need to be the number 1 or 2. I think Georgia is going to be the number 1 if they win. If Michigan wins
sure.
and Georgia loses, they'll be number 1. But we're looking for Michigan and Georgia people, but we're going to see if that happens. But yeah, I think that Michigan's going to go out there and they're going to stomp a fucking mud hole in Iowa.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but the betting lines are going to be fun. I tell you that. I think
Yes.
Oregon is they're favored in the game against Washington. Oregon is.
You know the number?
I can find it for you. Let me
No,
find it.
I'd
I'll
like
tell
to
you.
know I'd like to know the number in that one because I don't. In college football, especially in these types of games, there becomes a point when one team has more NFL talent than the other. And
Yeah.
Washington has more NFL talent at 2 very important positions, and that's quarterback and wide
So
receiver. And
I got it for you. You ready?
what's up? Yeah.
So Oregon, they're 9.5-point favorites.
Ooh, no.
9.5 points.
They're not doing
I'm
that.
taking Washington.
Yes. 100%.
Now, Washington's defense is garbage. It's trash. They're not good on defense.
But you can't stop. You can't stop
Their
the
offense
guys.
is great. Their offense is great, and that's what's going to keep them. That's why I'm saying, like, I'll take Washington with +9 on that for sure.
This hurts so bad because I got to stand on mine, and I said Oregon would win, but they're not going to win by 9.
You standing
the
on
last
business?
game? Yeah, bro, I got to. I can't sit there and have tape of me saying Oregon gonna win the actual whole thing, and then at the end, even though I want what I want because I love watching Michael Penix, I'm sorry, like Oregon gonna go out there and take that, but it's not gonna be by 9+. It's gonna be probably around like 3 to 5. Last
Okay.
game turned on a fourth.
I think that's fair. I think that's
and
fair.
2 or some shit like that.
The spread for Louisville and
great
Florida
game.
State is Florida State is favored by 2.5 points. 2.5.
Florida State gonna beat the shit out of them.
If you're a Texas fan, okay, Texas is favored by 15.5 points against Oklahoma State. I would take Oklahoma State in that game for the spread, just because you don't know what you're going to get from from Texas week to week.
You know what? I'm gonna say this in Texas defense, even though it killed me because they survived it. Texas is gonna get no calls. Oklahoma State is going to get every call, and this is dead serious. This is dead serious. Like the Big 12 does not want Oklahoma or Texas winning a title on their way out. It has been known. We got hold. Blah blah blah. So I would take that. I think Texas is going to win. Only problem is, I just think that
15.5 points.
Oh no! I think you. I don't think you take that. No, I think Texas is going to win.
Right.
Not by 15.
Okay.
If they do though, which is their aim is Texas has to like make this like a 40-13 game. Like Texas has to annihilate Oklahoma State so that the committee can look up and say,
"Yep, they got to blow." If they want to make college football playoff, they got to blow them boys out. Like, they got to blow them out, and Alabama has to beat Georgia.
Yeah, and here's a scenario too. Years ago, when Oklahoma made I think it was the second or third to last, when Oklahoma played Florida in the BCS National Championship, there came a point in the season where it was known that margin of victory and all that mattered. And Bob Stoops came out and said, "This is no disrespect to any coaches that we play from here on out, but we are going to try and score as many points as we can." Yeah. Because that is the only way that we're going to make the national championship. And on that point, you had like Jermaine Gresham That was the quarterback. Always hurt. Play for the Eagles. Anyways, team was going out scoring 50, 45. They were blowing teams out. And so after seeing Texas these last couple of weeks, what is Texas doing? They're going out here and trying to ransack teams. So I think Texas is going to come out here and try to onslaught Oklahoma State. I think they should get the job done, but something tells me, man, after being an Oklahoma fan and watching it live, like, I told a Texas fan I know, watch out, bro. I was at the gym, I said, watch out, bro. I said, because that shit may not hit you often, but when they get you, it's going to get you. So make sure, to Texas fans ever, hope that your team goes out there super aggressive and blows them out. But I do think Texas is going to win regardless. It's just going to be a matter of that SEC game is going to, the SEC game and the Pac-12 game is going to decide these spots. Because if Alabama wins, they don't deserve to go in over anybody. I don't care about how good you've looked. You lost to Texas, and Texas is up there. So unless Texas loses, in my opinion, and I hate the burnt orange, but unless they lose, Alabama, you can't go. I'm sorry. I don't care if Nick Saban's the best coach of all times. I don't care if you've shown that you're a team that everybody wants to watch. You can't go. And that's where I get into the whole, like, you got to complete the mission. That's why I can't wait for there to be 12 teams so that you got to complete the mission. Ain't no selection. You got to complete the mission. Go out there and work and get it done. And right now, Alabama, week 2, I don't care if it's week 2 or week 22. I don't care. You didn't get it done. You got beat by Texas. People really are trying to, over the past 3 weeks, we have seen a lot of people in the media try to downplay. And there you go. We done seen a lot of people.
You want to talk about getting it done? Hold up. You want to talk about getting it done?
You got it. They got it done. Like, it was set up where it was said, like, hey, man, Michigan, y'all know what it is. We know that the only tough game that y'all play is Penn State and Ohio State. We know how conference goes. And if you want to talk about the SEC, let's talk about it. Like, you only got 3 teams that dominate. The other of them niggas suck shit, and you have rivalries like everybody. If it ain't Alabama, if it ain't LSU on a good year, and if it ain't Florida on a good year or Georgia, who the fuck we scared of? Tennessee blows its shithole every fucking year that they play against somebody good. Kentucky, who gives a fuck?
Nobody cares.
What are you doing?
Yeah, nobody cares about the other teams in the SEC. Florida. Billy Napier, no. We're good.
If you have watched, just go watch Florida versus Missouri. SEC has 3 to 4 teams that make you say, "Oh, damn, they that shit." When we get there and Texas get there, it's gonna be like 5. But on the cool, like I said, to the Big Ten, you got Penn State, you got Ohio State, you got Michigan, and the rest of the motherfuckers is whoopee cushions.
Right.
Cheese.
It's true.
And then you got, it's true. And then you got the Big 12, you got Texas, you got Oklahoma, and you have an at-large. Some third motherfucker's going to come out and pop out the woodwork and be like, hey, like Ohio State did or Kansas State did a couple years ago. The rest of them, poo cheese. So the whole thing about the SEC just being this gauntlet, that is bullshit. And I would like for everybody to go look at the SEC's records and a lot of these bowl games. They get their ass beat. And then they make the excuse, well, you're not playing for a championship. No. Y'all just like every other conference that we have. And it's just the fact that Alabama didn't get the fucking job done, and they're not used to it. Georgia, if you don't get the fucking, and I'll add this one to it before we finish the topic. If you don't get the job done, and both y'all motherfuckers lose, I'm down to have the first playoff that does not have either of you motherfuckers included. Insert Texas, insert Washington, and let's get this motherfucker rolling, bro.
I gotta, say a few things about my Wolverines. Ohio State, they came into the big house. Well, first of all, they kicked and screamed about the only reason why Michigan beat us the last 2 years because they had our signs. Okay. If that's not the lamest excuse that you can, that's what you come up with. Okay. Those who know football know everybody knows everybody's signs. You're not hiding nothing. Okay. But whatever. Did Michigan take it too far? Sure.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yes. Cross that line. Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
there's a little bit. I mean, I'm a fan enough to say, they probably went overboard on that.
No,
Okay.
they did. They did.
Now, Jim Harbaugh was not on the sideline, so Ryan Day, who makes $9 million plus a year, couldn't be the substitute teacher. And Sharon Moore,
With emotional issues.
you couldn't.
Crying.
My man Sharon on the sideline crying.
You know what?
He emotional?
Honestly, I will say this though. That man's gonna get a job.
He's gonna be the head coach of Michigan. They're not gonna let him go. They're not gonna let him go. He will be the head coach of Michigan.
He solidified a job with his performance there. To Ryan Day, yeah, bro, you fucked up.
No excuses. No excuses. None.
In college sports, there are two things that they want you to do as a coach. Three things. One is win your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Two is actually, let me rephrase that. Well, I'll say the three things and I'll put them in order. That's how I do this. So one is win your conference. Two is try your best to win a national championship. And three is beat your rival. In actuality, number one is beat your rival. Number two is win your conference. And number three, because there's 110 of us, and in some cases 120 teams, we win a national championship. Good shit. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to make the playoff. But the first two, and number one, or should I say number one, because Ryan Day right now is fuck you in Ohio. It's OH, oh no, because you are not, bro, you cannot lose to Michigan 3 years in a row.
No, you can't. And they did. And I don't want to hear nothing from Ohio State fans. You got the best player in college football in, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Second best?
Sure. He's the best skill position player, right? You could say
we'll get to some shit. No. I think we've already established through other.
Caleb is the best player in college football. I don't care what people say, whatever.
After Caleb, we have a whole nother ranking.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
So I actually got Michael Penix, man.
Stop. Nope. Nope. And we'll get into that later. But anyway, back to Ohio State. All I'm saying is, I'm talking
about Heisman. When you said we'll get into that, I thought about draft. I was like, whoa, wait, that's different.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about from a draft perspective because I got some notes. I got some notes on Penix.
I'm talking about from a Heisman.
Jaden Daniels, to me, is playing better.
Who?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah.
LSU.
Oh yeah. Oh, if you know me, you know. Since the Arizona State, Jaden Daniels is that dude. He gonna be
real nice. He real nice. So
on the next level.
Sure.
He's real nice.
And I'm done talking about Ohio State. Michigan, they beat that ass. And 3 in a row, man.
Ryan Day, and if I'm Ohio State and I don't get rid of Ryan Day, what am I doing? Because
they're not going to
have the talent. They're tripping.
They're not going to they're not going to get rid of Ryan Day, and they don't need to yet. Ohio State's still a good football team. Look, they're still a good football team. He doesn't lose to anybody else, really. I mean, they're phenomenal under him. Do they need to get tougher in the trenches? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and say that they're just, fire Ryan Day. I mean, if you want to, I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with it.
Got to.
I'd be cool with it.
I think, and this isn't like I think Ryan Day would be great if he went and coached, the Florida Gators. Go coach Florida, Ryan Day, and go have a blast out there. Because you're not beating Michigan, and that's the problem at Ohio State. You could go 10-1 or 10 or 11-1 every year, bro. That one can't be to the Maize and Blue.
Yeah,
it can't be to them.
Nah.
And if it is, it's got to be on some like. And if it is, it's got to be like on some like. All right, well, y'all got us this year. We got y'all like the Texas-Oklahoma rivalry normally goes. There was a couple years where Oklahoma just beat them like a couple, but that was like Texas had some down years. But like normally, no matter who's higher in the rankings, Texas versus Oklahoma, it goes back and forth. It goes back and forth, back every year, and the coaches know this. Like in that special day in October, I got to win this game. No matter how good or bad my team is, I have to win this game. And I think that Ryan Day is just a tragic case of what we see in college football, where you're a great coach, bro, but you can't win your rivalry games, so you can't coach here. And as an Ohio State fan, not me, but if I was an Ohio State fan or a person at Ohio State, I think of it as like we're still going to get the recruit. There is not until I'll be dead and gone before Ohio State don't have a top 5, top 10 at least recruiting class. It's not going to happen. Like kids are going to grow up and they're going to go to Ohio State to play football. That's going to happen. It's been happening and it's going to happen. They have a pipeline to just talent. They are SEC Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So.
And they're still not getting it done with these top recruiting classes.
And what does that point to?
Coaching, development.
Why did Jimbo get fired?
Well, he had number 1 recruiting class and couldn't develop them at all.
Jimbo had, and if you and those out there that like, even if you pay attention a little bit, if you look at some of these high school guys that come in that are these blue chippers, and if you looked at what Texas A&M, he deserved to be fired. Texas A&M was loaded with talent, and then you'll see from the.
But it's hard to compare Ryan Day and Jimbo because Ryan Day in Ohio State, they're producing NFL talent. They just can't be Michigan.
But peep this, and this is where people are going to say, "Didn't you say the SEC?" The SEC has better. The SEC is better than the Big Ten. At the worst team.
Oh yeah.
The worst team in the Big Ten would lose to the worst team in the SEC, bro, more than likely.
Vanderbilt, you know Northwestern.
So, yeah. Okay, so like, actually, Northwestern might take it to them boys. I'm sorry, SEC, you losing that one. You losing that one. I'm actually gonna take that back because Northwestern's gonna kick Vanderbilt's ass. The Harvard of the South. No, I just think that the maybe it's not even the talent pool, because when the Big Ten play, this is weird about college football. The big brother syndrome is real. All right, so when these teams go up and they got to play against Michigan or Ohio State, got to play against the big guys. Like a lot of times, teams end up losing to those teams because they feel inferior to them, and they already look at themselves as Cinderella. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how the Big Ten. Now that may change as years go by. Like the SEC conference, even though the pecking order is what it is, Vanderbilt fights. You know what I'm saying? Like Florida fights. You know, and yes, Florida, you're down there right now. Tennessee fights. You know what I'm saying? Like they still fight. Like in the Big Ten, like Maryland getting beat, bro. Like they played good in the first half.
Maryland's look better this year.
That's Loxley got them balling. Slang that motherfucker. Yeah, that's because Tua little brother can slang the pill. But you get what I'm saying. Like it's just that in the Big Ten, it seems like, and I hate to say this because athletes never want to be like, I don't accept that I'm gonna lose, but it seems like in the Big Ten, a lot of the teams after like 2 quarters and a half, they accept like we ain't got it. And the only team that you look for in the Big Ten, not named Ohio State and Michigan, to put up or shut up, is Penn State. Penn State goes 10-2 every year, bro. Penn State goes 10-2 every year, bro. And it's like, bro, you lose to 2 teams every fucking year, dog. Like, that's more than just talent. Y'all are talented enough to win these games. It's big, brother. You don't believe that you should beat these teams, and you don't think that you should beat these teams deep down. Like in the Big 12, you see turnover. Like Oklahoma's been a mainstay, but there's always a Kansas State. There's always an Oklahoma State. There's always another team that's just underneath. In the Pac-12, the whole conference balled out this year. Interjection of prime, the quarterbacks, the whole conference balled out this year. Like the SEC and the Big Ten are a lot alike in ways, but like it's just like, I just you get what you get. You get what you get, man. And that's why I can't wait till 12.
Yeah, well, we're going to get 12 next year. But this weekend, we got some big games in college football. Be sure to stick around and watch them because there could be some upsets. I mean, the whole top 4 could look completely different by next Tuesday. So,
yeah, I think I was just going to say the football gods correct shit every Saturday.
Yeah. So I can't. All I'm concerned about is Michigan winning, and then we'll see where everything else falls. It is now time for either or.
Need that
Mm-hmm.
one time. My nigga
Get that one time for the
Boogie.
one time.
Ah,
Either
my nigga
or.
Boogie. All right,
I'm gonna give
you
you
know
the
how I know
floor.
it is.
Go.
Hey, rhyming with it. Hey, zoom in. You already know what time it is. Time for the either or. That is where I give you two athletes and you get to pick one or the other. Pretty simple. First things first, I'm gonna lay it down for you real quick like this. Yo, you do not have the other teammates they play with. You do not have the other teams. It is just that player versus that player. The other players are nameless gray faces. So who would you rather have? Would you rather have TJ Watt? Or would you rather have Miles Garrett? That's the either or for this week, people. Hey, which guy would you rather have on your defense? Now, remember, people, because a lot of people get this fucked up. They are not injured. They are not injured. There's no other teammates. You don't get to pick a super team around. If you get this guy. Oh yeah, that's the last part. I'm sorry. If you pick TJ Watt, then you're going against Miles Garrett. If you pick Miles Garrett, then you're going against TJ Watt. Who do you want? One game, all the marbles. If you lose, get your head cut off, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's the either or. Miles Garrett or TJ Watt. Who you got?
Who you got?
I thought about this, and although, Miles, you are a specimen, you are one of my favorite players, I'm going to take TJ Watt. Because I just think that in a game with all the marbles on the line, in a game where you need someone with a motor that doesn't stop, in a game where you need someone that's going to do anything and everything down to the last drop, and in a game, where you just need something to go your way. I'm taking TJ.
That's tough. I like both players. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Miles Garrett here. I just think he's a more physical dominating force.
It's like,
You
would you
know,
rather have Iron Man?
it's hard not to pick him. Crazy thing is, they're in the same division.
Yes. And when they play, it's a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks stand no chance.
Yeah, them dudes are good, man. Miles Garrett, I think he even took another step this year.
Oh no, he took a hell of. That's why it was kind of hard for me, but it was like, I love motor, and this is not to say that one guy does not have motor. You know what I'm saying? This is not to say that.
Right.
And maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not the fact that I like motor. I like motor that you can see. So it's like some guys work hard, you can't really tell. You're like, he's doing his thing, and like Miles Garrett's just better than him. Watching TJ like just go, and it's like literally like the Tasmanian devil, just like onslaught. Like, I'm not gonna quit. Like him and Crosby, the motor gets to you, man. It just don't stop.
Yeah, I think that's a good either or. Before we end the show, we're gonna go off script a little bit. The Cowboys. I
Shit!
really
Shout out.
haven't.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Shout out Shotgun. You know what I'm saying? He said Miles G, but I think that I know him. So yeah. He was talking about Miles Garrett since he was like 17. So you picked that
Yeah,
one, buddy.
man, shotgun up in here, man. The Cowboys, man, like Dak is having a good season, and
Dak's having a real good
I know
season.
I've been critical of him in the past. Others have been critical of him in the past, and I want to make sure I give him his flowers. Like,
let's do that.
He's looking every bit of the quarterback we thought he could be, right? Like at his best. He's playing his best football ever, to me.
Yeah, no, ever. Yeah, no. Yes, keep going. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Now,
there's no disagreement with me right here.
I need to see them beat the Eagles.
Yep.
That to me, if he could do that, he's taking the next step. Beat the Eagles. Beat the Eagles. Beat the 49ers.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask? Let me not a question. Let me paint a scenario as the honest, optimistic Cowboys fan. So this team, to me, which I did write earlier in the season, was going to finish like 13-4 or 14-3 or something, somewhere on there. seems to me like a team that is going through the motions, not in a bad way, but like as in far like there's steps you have to take to become great. And I think that this team, you get waxed by the 49ers, then you go to Philadelphia and you lose, not necessarily because Philadelphia beat you, but because you made a mistake. Which Philadelphia has had the fucking their carriage has not turned into a pumpkin yet. And so they, you know what I'm saying? Like when it
Don't
does,
even get me started on the Bills and Eagles.
And I was gonna say we're gonna talk about that because I'm torn between the fact of either Josh or Gabe. Y'all gotta make that happen. But I think the Cowboys are just in a situation where it's just kind of like, when the playoffs come, no one's gonna think we can do this, but they're probably gonna do it. And as a guy that's, you know what I'm saying, that's been sitting at pause, damn. But as a guy that's been sitting back, you know what I'm saying, watching the Cowboys do their thing, and playing the football game, like I do think that they have what it takes. I just think that those games are stepping stones. Now, if they lose to the Eagles in Dallas, I think that we're gonna look at it. It's not gonna be perfect. Like that's gonna be but I do think if they lose that game, it's just gonna be a step back. They still could do some things, but if they win that game, that's gonna be the last part of the puzzle piece.
Yep, I agree. They got to take that next step as a team, and they have everything that you would need. The defense is playing out of this world. Dak is playing really well. They're starting to run the football, which is nice. You got to beat your division rival. You got to beat the Eagles, the best team in the league. There's no ifs.
And every year they have.
That's about it, right?
And every year they split. For the majority of the time, they split.
But it matters more this year than any other year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? So
and especially if I don't know about you, but I think the 49ers are gonna beat the Eagles. And that's no hate. I just think that this game means a lot more to the 49ers than it does to the Eagles at this point. Because I think the 49ers are still thinking like, you should not have beat us. We did not have the most important position on the field. If we have the most important position on the field, we're going to beat y'all. And so I think that for the 49ers psyche, they're like, we got to know for a fact, like the only reason that they beat us was because we didn't have our guys. You know what I'm saying? Our guy, our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So, and I do think the 49ers are going to get that done. No, this doesn't mean it's going to be shade of the Eagles. But I think the Eagles' main thing is going to be, and this is me for any NFL team, and I'll let you take it after this. You don't want to play your divisional opponent 3 times.
Right, it's tough.
That third game is bonkers.
It's a toss-up.
And so I think that the Eagles want to go ahead and get themselves in a position where they won't have to play the Cowboys again unless the Cowboys climb up that New York Giants type hill that they climbed up when they went away, all the way to the championship.
Yeah, I like what I see. The Bills play the Cowboys in a few weeks, so that'll be interesting. I feel like the Bills offensively. Yes, you will. I feel like the Bills offensively are looking the best they've looked all season. Sean McDermott's still a terrible coach. I think he should be fired at the end of the season, but that's for another day. I don't even want to get into all that. But I just wanted to make sure I took some time to the Cowboys are looking like a real team this year, man. Like it's not fluke.
And as we shout out, Dak gets his shout out. CeeDee Lamb becoming a top receiver in the league. You know what I'm saying? With Justin Jefferson out, might be number 1.
No, again, that's a little far.
All right, he's top 5.
That's a little far, but he's top 10. CeeDee Lamb, top 5 wide receiver? No, sir.
He's not top 5.
No, he's not yet. Not yet.
We'll talk about that before the Bills play the Cowboys. We'll get all that.
We're gonna get into that.
But okay. So, like you said,
everything else you're saying is great except for that CeeDee Lamb.
DaRon Bland. I want to give a shout out to DaRon Bland.
Mm-hmm.
I remember someone put a photo up and said it was DaRon Bland and said, "What do you think of when you see him?" I said, "Next man up, man." As a Cowboys fan, it has been forever since we have had the ability to have like a guy that just stepped in. DaRon Bland getting the interceptions, setting the record. I love to see it. Mike is showing his leadership skills. The Cowboys are in a very good position. The only problem is you got to finish. And we know that that's the problem with this team is you can't finish. And so as we sit back, the honest Cowboys fan, I'm going to let everybody know be happy, but also realize there's a mission in place. It's the NFC conference final or
Yes, sir.
NFC championship is where we want the Cowboys. We want to go to Super Bowl. We hope so. But a goal to set is the NFC championship. We want them to be there and competing and it not just getting blown out. But we will see. There's a lot of season left. Tomorrow we play Seattle. And I think that the Cowboys should go out there. Now, if the Cowboys go out there and embarrass Seattle, next week we're going to have a discussion about the Cowboys being serious. If they go out there and crush Seattle,
they better handle business. They better handle business.
They should, but I'm talking about the difference between they go out there tomorrow night and win 27-17. That's a good win. They still in the same spot they
that's
were.
handling business. They don't have to blow them out. That's handling business.
But I'm saying, but if they go out there and beat these dudes 45 to like 10, we'll have to have a discussion about what's coming because this is, even though I'm a fan of the Cowboys and it'd be unreal to see them in this position, we're seeing a team going towards the playoffs that's trending upward.
Yeah.
And we all know that's dangerous, especially
for sure.
in football. When you get
now, they're going to lose to the Bills. I'm telling you right now. They're going to lose to the Bills. Okay. We're going to get
even though y'all are going to be even though y'all are going to be on like fucking hit the red button mode because y'all should have won last
They
week.
already are.
Y'all are gonna,
the Bills couldn't beat the refs
really
and the Eagles. They couldn't beat the refs and the Eagles. Like, come on now.
To me, it's on. All right.
And I hate saying that about.
I hate to pile on Josh Allen, but to me,
you're not.
You gotta throw the post.
Bro.
It doesn't boil down to one play, but it does. You got to, because in my head, it's like, yeah, there's a blitz coming. But you call the plays. You know that it's a post play.
There is no. Josh Allen outplayed Jalen Hurts. Like, Josh Allen was everything in that game, bro.
Some people calling him RB1 on the internet, on X.
Man, people are stupid. Josh Allen was dealing.
Jalen Hurts no, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
Oh, dude, Jalen Hurts was balling, bro.
No, he was.
Jalen Hurts was balling. But
no, I don't blame Josh Allen for y'all.
No, you know who you need to blame? Sean McDermott. He was awful, dude. He was bad. And I don't even want to get over emotional about these niggas because I'm mad. So Sean McDermott was bad. Once again, the defense didn't step up.
That's what you would do to fix him. That's what you do to fix him is get rid of Sean McDermott first.
After the season, I think it's time to where they get an offensive minded head coach. Make Joe Brady the head coach, the offensive coordinator.
That would be interesting.
Young guy, vibrant, energy. Has a pedigree of working with, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all those guys. Like, make him the head coach. I would even settle for Ben Johnson from the Lions and Jim Harbaugh. Bring his butt back in the NFL. Yeah. He'd be great there. So, but the fact of the matter is the Bills aren't going to move on from Sean McDermott. It's going to take another year of some bullshit for them to be like, yo, it's time now. So I'm just talking. Ain't nothing going to happen. Right.
But you know what you remind me of? When you just said that. Now, and I said this, and I think you saw it on Twitter too. Y'all remind me a lot of the Jason Garrett Cowboys, the 8-8 Cowboys. And that was, you have the team, the quarterback, the receiver, the potential to go to the Super Bowl, but you underachieve because of lack of execution.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
And that comes, and this is just like when I look at the Bills, that's what I see. Like I as a Cowboys fan, I'm looking at y'all and I'm like, damn, I see Romo, I see Dez, I see Witten, and I see those, not the 2014 team that they got screwed when Dez caught it, but the teams prior that finished 8-8, those years it was like 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. You know what I'm saying? Like in 10-6, 8-8, 10-6. It was like those years, it was like, that's what y'all remind me of, and it's not a talent thing. It's an execution thing, and it makes me, as a person that's not really a believer in, well, you got to change the voice. It makes me look back and say, maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe you do need to change the voice because I'm not seeing a bad football team. I'm seeing a football team that's not getting any of the breaks. And when you're not getting any of the breaks, to me, that's the coaching aspect. When you have a good coach and everything's going good, you get the breaks.
How many times have we seen the Bills go into these big games and lose, not because of the offense, because Sean McDermott's play calling and preparation. He was outcoached in the second half, and this isn't the first time we've seen this. 13 seconds with the Chiefs. The AFC Championship game the year before that with the Chiefs. The Bengals last year, the Bills were outcoached, right? The Philly, meltdown, we want to call it, whatever name that you want to give it. Time and time again, it falls back on Sean McDermott as the head coach, and that's why I think it's time for him to go. But you're right. Yeah. I mean, I really can't defend the Bills on that because what you're saying is right. Like if they're not careful, now the season isn't over, but they're not careful, they could wind up being the Chargers East. They could be, one of these teams.
Big possibility.
Having what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers. You wasted years. You wasted so many years because, you didn't get it done. So at this point, there's no more fingers to point other than at the head coach. So we'll see what happens.
The Chargers have a whole. We could talk about them next week.
Yeah.
Now Ben Johnson, I saw in the chat. Ben Johnson, shotgun.
Yeah, I said
Johnson.
that.
Yes, I think. Now, truthfully, Sterling, if you're Ben Johnson, well, I guess you do want the Bills job.
Who wouldn't want the Bills job? If they fired Sean McDermott, the Bills is a top job in the NFL because of Josh Allen.
Yeah, you got Josh Allen. Yeah, that's
you want to take that job.
No, I can see. I can see Ben.
We'll see, man. But they ain't gonna make a move. So I'm just talking on my ass right now. But they ain't gonna make a move. So,
man, if this shit go down in flames, they're gonna make a move. If it go down in flames, they're gonna make a move. If y'all don't get to at least y'all are second in y'all's division right now, right?
No, we third. The Bills got a 50% chance of making the playoffs, man.
So I'm sorry, Sean McDermott.
Yeah, he trash, bro.
Oh,
he trash.
Hold up, before we hit the outro, let me tell y'all like this: don't do stupid shit. Glenn Baby Davis, you out of fucking bounds, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know if you listen to Lil Durk, but boy, chicken. You ain't think I was gonna get you, did you? The feds on your ass, boy. Hey, Will Bynum got 10 years and you looking at 20. Hey, y'all, don't be out of bounds. Don't try to finagle the feds. Don't try to get extra money through healthcare schemes because that shit will get you. What else you got for him before we leave?
Man, hey, make sure you follow us on our socials. I'm at Fro Sterling on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Russ, how can they find you, bro?
You already know it's me. It's at Big 30 The Truth, and that's THATH. I mean, yeah, THATRUTH30. My bad. But yeah, you can find Big 30 The Truth on pretty much any platform. And shit, fuck with me. Oh, hit that like, subscribe, because honestly, you can follow me, you can follow Sterling, but we want you to subscribe to this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is the Hesi Podcast. Hey, man, if she don't love you, she loves somebody else. And that's not really a problem because it's like at least 3 billion bitches. So.
Hey, that's all we got for tonight. This is the Hesi Podcast. Make sure you go and follow, subscribe to us on YouTube. We are still putting this thing together, and we will be back next week.
Boogie, we miss you, and we know you're going to be back.
We up out of here.
Already.
Hey, look at that.